Hello, this is Dr. Jeff Kim with Ed Family, and today we have an amazing story, another Anaheim Union High School District, California democracy story. So far, we have 17 schools in Anaheim Union High School District out of our 20, which are California democracy. And what that means for students is that every student has the opportunity to identify an issue that they care about and then take compassionate action. They're learning how to do this at such a young age. And the amazing thing is that our final three schools are also planning and intending on applying for California democracy this year, including Hope School. But before we get into it all, I just want to introduce Alfred Cruz, 5C's coach and teacher. Alfred, go ahead and if you could go ahead and introduce yourself, tell a little bit about your story and the story of Hope School.
Okay, yes, my name's Alfred Cruz. I've been a teacher here at Hope for 25 years. Hope is a great school. All of our students have an IEP and have a designation of moderate to severe disabilities. But they're awesome kids. They love school. They love to learn. And most of them, love to be here. And, I enjoy it.
Well, tell us a little bit of your story and how Hope became, or how you wanted Hope to become a California democracy school. When did this portion of a Hope story begin, and how are you so close now to actually completing and submitting this application?
Okay, we were one of the few schools that had not begun the process yet, and so we said, our students can do it too. They have needs, desires. They do want to make their school better and the world better. And so we said that we need to do this too for our kids. And so we started, I went to the Institute, 3-day training session with Dr. Kim and Mr. Patino. And so I learned, a lot of strategies and skills there. And so then I brought them back to our team here, our teachers, Mr. Saunders and Mr. Shehade. And so we developed kind of what it looked like for our students. And we kind of, ASB has been instrumental in kind of like having student voice. And that's Coach Catherine and Mr. King are leading that. And so the students have had opportunities to put input through the ASB surveys and activities for leadership for our students through ASB. And that's been really well. We kind of, to backtrack a little bit, the principal Louis said that we started a do good, be good, do good Hope initiative. And we talked about it last year. And so we had the idea of, doing these things to help others, to help ourselves in mind. And so the Democracy School program really fit right into what our ideas were as a school. And then our team decided how is the best way for our students to express their feelings and express themselves. And so we kind of had a real simple way to introduce it to the students was what makes you happy and what makes you sad. And students were able to to really express things that they made them happy and things that they didn't, and we kind of had a process of giving out ideas, having brainstorming sessions with the students and then cataloging, getting down the data and the information. And the students really expressed that they, loneliness amongst the students was a big issue for them. And that one way to make themselves happy was to be with each other, to be with their friends. And so being together was an important thing for them. And so we said these things go hand in hand, right? Being with your friends is one way to help with the problem of loneliness. And so we had several lessons that we developed to go through from what can you do to, help your friends, help your classmates. How can we create this time together? And we, the students, and we identified that it was through, the principal, and the teachers. That ultimately the teachers would be the ones responsible for creating that time or those activities for students together. And so we came up with an idea, well, how are we going to communicate our wants to the principal and the teachers? And then the students and staff, we decided that two ways. We were going to write letters, okay, in English class, and then we were going to compose emails in English class, and then in communication class, we were going to create posters. And so we were able to, the students were able to, each class in the ELA was able to write a letter, and then at the end of class, we walked down, all the students carried the letter to Principal Louis' office and hand delivered the letters. And so he was really happy to see the students, voice their opinions and state their demands, actually, in person. And then also we sent the emails to all the teachers, and we followed up with a teacher meeting after the email campaign. And so a lot of teachers have, in my last department meeting, expressed the desire to come up with a club, a lunchtime club, so the students can get together, be a part of, and also some activities during our advisement time that we have might make some days available for students to be together. And so the teachers are committed, the admin's committed, and it's been a really a fun thing for me to see that the students ultimately getting what they want. And so I think that's the whole point. And this leads to a better school environment, kids wanting to be at school, and those things obviously help with learning while you're here.
Wow, just what a powerful story. Just beginning with your own heart, where you talked about, hey, our students can do this too. They have needs and desires. And if we just create a space for them to express it and support them with that, it's going to do some great. It was already aligned to your school goals, which included Be Good, Do Good, and the Hope Initiative. And then those lessons that allowed students to identify an issue that they cared about, which included the loneliness. And, Alfred, that's not something that just Hope School is experiencing, but once again, so many students are expressing that. In fact, I just heard recently for girls, for example, that in the past, 10 years ago, 36% of adolescent girls expressed feelings of great sadness and hopelessness. But then very recently, in 2022, that number had shot up very significantly to 57%, who had felt great feelings of sadness and hopelessness. So this is a very, very important issue for all students. And once again, I'm just so reminded that when we pave our way for students that have the greatest needs, it's paving the way for all our learners. And I'm curious. I want to hear what Principal Louis' face looked like when all these emails and letters and the students came in. Like, tell us a little bit more about that, when the students came in and really advocated for themselves.
He was he had heard about it, but then when it actually happened, he was like shocked and happy. He was like really he was happy. He was saying, this is great. He was like, I need to do something, so he felt that little bit of pressure to do something. And then he's saying, because he's also on the emails as well, so he's getting all the emails from individual students, using their Google accounts, and then for us going into the classroom or his office. And so yes, he was happy. He was a little shocked, and then he was a little happy, and you could see that he's motivated, that this was something that he really said that I need to do something. I need to make it happen. So that was good.
It's very impressive that the educational leader was moved, and then it really helped set the culture for everyone else to be on board too. And then it seems like the emails to teachers and the teacher meeting was also very powerful too, because as the students are now communicating their needs to them, they are creating a space for friendships to be fostered. So how is it when the emails went out to teachers and teacher meetings?
Yes, it was, they were like, the students are right, they're what they want is important. What they want should be provided for them, and and that we need to make this happen. And so it was a good thing to see the staff and the students, like that.
And I know in AUHSD, we definitely steward that time for teachers to have the opportunity to grow in their leadership capacity. And you participated in the 3-day AUHSD Civic Learning and Leadership Institute. How was those 3 days a part of this journey for your school to come to this place?
It definitely was good to meet with the other teachers, right? And so to see examples from the other teacher, from yourself as well, and like, how could we, what could the kids do, or what are their the expectations, the high expectations, the speeches and things that the students were doing, and then like we always like look and see things, and then we adapt it, and so it always has to be that we're given that time to go see what other schools and students are doing, and then we can do that too. And so yeah, it was a good thing.
Yes. So a little bit of train, but then taking that training and having some time to adapt and then implementing that plan. Alfred, what would you say to another school who's also wanting to become California democracy? Here in AUHSD, we almost have all our schools there, but that's very actually rare in California. So if there was another school that's like, we would love to have our students able to do something similar, would you have any encouraging words or advice for them?
I would say, yeah, if you don't think it's appropriate, that's not true. All kids are basically the same and have similar needs. And some kids, it's harder for them to express, those needs. But, with the right staff, with the right people working, and maybe the right technology, augmented communication, these students can express themselves as well. And so I think I was kind of shocked that actually our students expressed loneliness as a main issue. I don't know why I'm shocked, but it was like they were serious about it, and a lot of them identified that, voted for that. And so just even myself to pause and think, oh yes, the kids are right. And so if you ask the students, right, and you listen, they will tell you. So I think any school that is hesitant, you don't need to be hesitant. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for giving your students voice, and that voice then leading to agency, this feeling like, what, I could do something about the situation around me, and then leading to compassionate service and compassionate action that the students acted upon. But I thank you, Alfred Cruz, for your leadership and service. You're humble. You did not also mention that you're a 5 C's instructional coach selected by the district among the best to scaffold learning for all learners. And so we appreciate your leadership there as well. I do see civic engagement and action as a way to help students find out what they're good at so that they can do good with it. And thank you so much, Alfred, for sharing your wisdom on the Ed Family YouTube channel with us today.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Kim, for having me. Thanks.